Hey everybody, today's February 1st already, and winter is coming. Some might argue it's already here. Ten-day forecast. I think next week, a week from now, they're talking 3 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like minus 16 Celsius. And so far it's been pretty mild, the winter, and we've been dragging our feet on some stuff. But if it's gonna be 3 degrees, we better get some of this stuff done. Okay, so first thing we gotta get done, never got done here when we built the barn, is put water heaters in these waterers. We'll have to put a breaker in the panel, and this kind of a special kind of breaker, which is a ground fault circuit interrupters, kind of like the ones you have in your bathroom. So if they find any fault, they pretty much trip out right away, and we want to make sure we get a good safety on there, because cows are super sensitive to voltage, and we don't want to cause any problems. Well, now that we got the wiring all done, we can start installing some water heaters. We got 4 water heaters on this side and 4 water heaters on the other side. Heaters we're using, pretty much all they are 250 watts. This thing's got a thermostat in it. The water temperature drops to freezing, it pretty much comes on and keeps it just above freezing. Biggest thing we gotta watch out for is we don't want it interfering with the float, because that'll make a mess in a hurry. Got lots of help around here. Well, we better work fast on this one. My plan to go unnoticed has failed. Man, we barely made it out alive. Today is February 3rd, and we're still doing some winter prepping. We're putting up some plywood boards next to the robots. I'll show you what that's all about. She just wants to help you. I know.
Ready bottomed out?
We're running to get us more.
Yeah.
Is there any holes down there? Oh yeah. Yeah. Lay it down there. Ah, the timing is impeccable.
Hopefully that's a really smooth release.
So all we're doing here is we're putting these OSB boards up, and we're using hose clamps. Zip ties don't seem to last very long because they're gonna lick and bite and pull and push and everything else in the book. But the hose clamps seem to hold up pretty good. We just put these on there in the winter time. Keeps the wind from blowing straight into the robot room and us losing all the heat. And then in the summertime we'll take them back out to have it more open, and it's easier to work with then. Cows really don't like change, so we're just going to put the front ones up for now, and then they can get used to it. And we don't have enough hose clamps anyway, so it works out. And then tomorrow we'll probably put up the backs. We'll show you the one that's finished over here. Oh yeah. And then we had to cut out these pieces because when the gate opens, it swings out, and the gate will go in between there. I think we were all secretly hoping that we wouldn't need these this year. We got all the way to February, but winter's coming with a vengeance, I think. Okay, now we're not gonna name any names, but somebody left the lights on and drained the battery to the point where this won't start anymore. But this should take care of that. Okay, it was me. All right, let's try again. Reason we wanted the big blue tractor out of the way, we got some work to do on this Sassy Massey, and getting it ready for the cold weather. Most of these tractors anymore are diesel engines, and the problem with diesel engines in cold weather is them diesel engines depend on the way they work. They compress air real fast, which heats that air up real quick, and then that's what ignites the fuel. But if it's really cold out, the air coming in and the block is cold, and they won't fire, and you'll crank and crank until your battery's dead. You won't be using your tractor. Now they've come up with something for that, and it's called a block heater. And all that block heater is as such, and you pop out one of these plugs, and then behind that there's water. Now normally the engine generates so much heat, there's water actually cooling that block, and we're actually using that water now to heat up the block. So kind of the opposite. Instead of a coolant, it'll be a heating liquid until we get a rim. But yeah, one of these block heaters will generally keep them going pretty good. So let's get that going. We just ran this engine, so we better pop the cap and make sure there's no pressure before we pop soft plugs out. There we go. Normally pretty well use a punch to get that out, but it's traveling in on me and I don't want to lose it in there, so we're just gonna drill a hole in there, use a slide hammer. So all that slide hammer does, you'll drill a hole where that fits into 4 different quarters, and then as this pin goes in there, it will expand. So you put it in a hole like that, and then as you tighten that down, it expands. And then as you put the slide hammer on, you'll be able to pull something out. And then the way this will work, this will go in that hole, and then as we tighten this little nut down, it will pull down this plate, which will fold out these, which will pull the plug in there. now that we got the plug installed, so pretty much all we got is that heating element, and all that's gonna do is keep that block warm to the touch. It's not gonna like make it hot or anything. And then all you gotta do is plug it in. Now that we got the plug in, we just gotta fill up the coolant. We'll run the tractor a little bit, and that way the water pump will circulate the water, and any air pockets will come out, and then we'll recheck the level and make sure it's still full, and it should be good. Alright, so one more thing we got to do before the cold weather gets here. These robots here, we got some water lines in the back, and the cold water lines pretty well keep running all the time so they don't end up freezing. But the hot water line only gets used about every 8 hours during the main wash, the whole system wash. And that one will freeze up if we don't put any insulation back here. So we'll work on that. Well, then between this little bit of insulation, and we'll keep this front door open, and that should keep enough heat on there to keep anything from freezing. Okay, I think that's about the last thing we got to do before it gets real cold, so I think we'll be in good shape. It's going to get pretty cold, so hopefully we get along all right. Thanks for watching.